Alright, what's going on everybody? It's Ameo. I have been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals recently, and I have some thoughts to share about team comp and team strategy. I know this subject has been talked about since the game came out, but I have a feeling all of you watching will get something out of it by the end. So thank you for clicking on this video, and let's begin. So to start off, what is the best team comp you could have in Marvel Rivals? The answer for me that will surprise absolutely no one is an even composition. What I mean by that is 2 Vanguard, 2 Duelists, and 2 Strategists. It's not very hard to understand why it's the best team comp in the game. It's a balanced comp that has allowed me to see more victories than any other. Now you might be wondering, okay, but if my team has an unbalanced comp, what do I do? What I suggest is to learn at least one hero from each faction. That way, if you find yourself on a team with an unbalanced comp, you can switch to whatever role your team needs. Now you might also be wondering, okay, but even if my team has that comp, I'm still getting slammed in games no matter what role I'm in. What do I do? I'm going to give tips for each role to explain what you should be doing every single game, no matter what role you're playing. But before that, I'm going to give some general tips for everyone, no matter what role you play. This first one seems obvious, but stay at least near the objective. I know people like to push beyond the objective and try to hold the enemy team and spawn. This is a bad strategy, and I'll explain why. At the enemy spawn, they have infinite heals if they just stay in the spawn room. Not only this, but if too many people push forward and die, the enemy can do a counter push and take control of the objective. In Marvel Rivals, strength in numbers is everything. Having good team comp within those numbers will help win games. Another tip I want to give is that if you see your entire team is dead, do not rush in by yourself. You're selling the match at that point. The enemy team is most likely going to kill you, and your teammates are already going to be at a disadvantage getting back to the objective. I remember specifically this one game, I had a Captain America on my team and I was playing Rocket. And this man would jump in the middle of the enemy team, get killed, get respawned with my BRB, and then jump in and die again. That by itself was huge in why we lost the match. Instead of rushing in, head back to your spawn. With any luck, you'll have a few players on the enemy team that will push and you can get a few picks. It is always better to push with a full team. And this might be the most important tip of all, but time your ultimates. If you play Winter Soldier and Luna Snow just activated her ult, do not try to activate yours, because her ult is going to cancel it out pretty much. Instead, save it for when her ult is over and then use it to get the most out of it. Obviously, that's just one example, but the point remains to always time your ultimate abilities. Now, on to tips for specific roles. Starting out with Vanguards, Vanguards are the tank role in Marvel Rivals. And because of that reason, they need to be on the front lines at all times. Why should you have 2 tanks on your team, you might ask? Because the 2 tanks need to be rotating in and out of the front line because they'll be taking a ton of damage. But they are also going to be the main reason the enemy team gains no ground. Vanguards need to be paying attention to their health. If you're getting low, back up to where your strategist can heal you and get back to the fight ASAP. Also, stop using your shield so much and do some damage. This last tip is mainly for characters like Captain America, Doctor Strange, Magneto, but if you're doing no damage, enemy strategists will have no incentive to heal their teammates, but they will have an incentive to deal extra damage to you. So be sure you are dealing as much damage as often as possible. Now, on to Duelists. Some of the things I said about Vanguard apply double for you, and some things I said about them don't apply to you at all. Obviously, your main job is to deal damage and keep pressure up. But don't get too cocky and rush ahead of your Vanguards and give the enemy team a free pick. You should be close to your Vanguards, but not too close. And you certainly should not be ahead of them in terms of positioning at any point. You want the enemy to be attacking the Vanguards as often as possible because remember, you are very squishy, and Vanguards have huge health pools. To be honest, Duelists should be ultimate farming on enemy Vanguards. Deal as much damage as possible to get your ult as fast as possible. Then, use your ult to take out enemy Duelists, or even better, enemy Strategists. Why target them? Because they have the lowest health pools, and killing them is going to be the easiest way to maximize the effectiveness of your ult. Obviously, I'm not saying never go after Vanguards with your ultimate, I'm just saying Prioritize duelists and strategists whenever you're ulting as a duelist. Also, as a duelist, you are in the middle line, so pay attention to your backline every now and then. If you're wondering why you aren't getting any heals, it's probably because an Iron Fist or Spider-Man is killing your strategists. One last tip for duelists. If you ever see an enemy strategist apart from their team, go after them specifically and make sure they're dead. It'll be much easier to get full team wipes once the strategists are dead. Now, on to strategists. If you play strategists, you need to have good situational awareness. You need to know where every member of your team is at all times. Positioning and sight is everything for a strategist. In order for the team comp strategy I'm giving you to work, you need to focus your healing on the tanks. Obviously, everyone needs healing eventually, but tanks should be the priority since they are on the front line. You also need to be on the lookout for different things the enemy team places around the map, including, but not limited to, Moon Knight's Onks, Namor's Monstros, Penny Parker's Mines. Those are going to be everywhere when your Vanguards and Duelists are trying to fight the enemy team, and it's your job to take them out as soon as possible. Also, strategists should rarely ever try to deal damage. I know, some people are going to get pissed at me for saying that, but let me explain my reasoning. Not only is a strategist's damage output not great, but you'll be much more of an asset providing heals than doing damage for the rest of your team. Your heal numbers and assists should always be higher than your kills and damage output. And that about does it. I hope everyone who stuck around to the end got something useful out of this video. And if you did, be sure to leave a like. And subscribe if you're new. We are trying to reach 5,000 subscribers, and all support getting there is greatly appreciated. I don't just play Marvel Rivals, I play plenty of other games. Currently, I'm streaming Skyrim to the end for the first time ever. So if you have any helpful tips to give, or you just want to come watch me be goofy on stream, be sure to join those streams. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next video. Later!